Welcome back. Today we're testing multi-tool blades. We have 4 blades in our test today. The cheapest one being from Walmart, the Hyper Tough metal cut blade. All blades today are bimetal blades for wood and metal, general purpose blades. So the Hyper Tough comes in at $4.24. Next up we have the Hurcules from Harbor Freight. This blade is $14 and is again a bimetal blade. Finally, with our 2 most expensive blades today, we have the Milwaukee and the Diablo blade. They're both again bimetal blades. The Milwaukee claims 15 times longer life than the average blade, and the Diablo claims 5 times longer life. These blades both came in at right around $18 from Home Depot. So this is our test setup for today. It is my fine multi-tool attached to a vertical slide so it can come down with no human interaction on the wood. We have 3 tests today. We have just a 2x4 piece of 2x4. This is softwood, most likely some sort of pine, cut at 1 inch by 1.5 inches. Then we have another 2x4, again same dimensions, with a single 3 1/8 framing nail in it. Finally, we have a piece of oak that is cut at 1.5 inches by 1 inch, and this is a nice piece of hardwood to really test the durability of these blades. Okay, so we have the Hyper Tough blade up first with just a plain 2x4. Let's see how it does. Alrighty, next up we have the Hurcules blade against a plain 2x4. Next up, we have the Diablo blade versus a 2x4. Let's see how it does. Yeah. Like butter. Now we have the Milwaukee against a 2x4. Let's see how it does. After completing the 2x4 test, it became clear that the Milwaukee and Diablo blades were the best, both cutting the 2x4 in a little under 3 seconds. In second place is the Hyper Tough blade, which cut it in 5 seconds. And in last place is the Hurcules blade, which cut it in 6 seconds. But they all did really well in the plain softwood test. Next up, we have the Hyper Tough blade from Walmart against the oak hardwood. Next up, we have the Hurcules multi-tool blade versus the oak. Definitely a lot of smoke with that one. As you can see, the Hurcules blade basically burned its way through the oak. Next up, we have the Diablo blade against the oak. Let's see how it does. Not a problem. Now we have the Milwaukee versus the oak hardwood. Let's see how it does. After the hardwood test with the oak, the Diablo blade performed much better than the others, cutting the oak in just under 4 seconds. Next, in second place, was the Milwaukee, cutting the oak at 11 seconds, followed by the Hyper Tough blade, which cut the oak in just over 18 seconds. And then finally, in last place, is the Hurcules, which took 46 seconds to cut the oak and seemed to really struggle getting through. Next up, we have the Hyper Tough blade from Walmart against a 2x4 with a framing nail in it. See how it does. After a full minute, the Hyper Tough blade was not able to make it through the nail, so I stopped the test. As you can see, there's significant damage to the teeth, and most of the paint is worn off the blade. Next up, we have the Hurcules blade versus the 2x4 with a framing nail. Let's see how it does. Next up, we have the Diablo blade versus the wood with the nail in it. Let's see how it does. That was impressive. Next up, we have the Milwaukee versus the 2x4 with a nail. Let's see how it does. After the 2x4 with nails test, the Diablo came out on top again, cutting the 2x4 with a nail in just under 3.5 seconds. Next up came the Milwaukee in second place, cutting the nail in about 5 seconds. In third place was the Hurcules, cutting the nail with the wood in 17 seconds. And finally the Hyper Tough, which was unable to make it through the nail. After all the tests, the Milwaukee and Diablo blades both look in very good condition, with the Diablo missing a little bit of paint and the Milwaukee blade having slight scuffs on it, but nothing major. The Hurcules and Hyper Tough blade both are in worse condition, with them both missing some paint. The Hurcules is definitely a little better than the Hyper Tough, who seems to be missing a decent amount of paint, though the lettering is still readable. If you're cutting softwood, all these blades perform fairly well. However, for the multiple tasks that most people use multi-tool blades for, I cannot recommend the Hyper Tough or the Hurcules. Especially the Hurcules, coming in at $14, which is just $4 short of the Milwaukee and Diablo, which both performed considerably better. I would choose either the Diablo or the Milwaukee blade, with the Diablo being my top choice and the Milwaukee being the runner-up. They both performed exceptionally well in all the tests and seem to have a great longevity to them. You can find the links for the Diablo and Milwaukee blades below in the video description. Thank you for watching, and please leave comments, questions in the comment section below. Let me know if there's any blades you'd like me to test next time when I'm testing multi-tool blades, and let me know what you think of the results.